বলতে 6 বছর ছিলাম এখানে, একটু একটু শিখেছি। তো সেখান থেকে একটু বললাম যে আমার তরফ থেকে আমি ভারতবাসীকে আমার শুভেচ্ছা জানাচ্ছি, শুভকামনা জানাচ্ছি। আর সেই সাথে সাথে 71 সালে ভারতবাসী যেভাবে আমাদের পাশে দাঁড়িয়েছিল এবং সব ক্ষেত্রে আমরা তাদের সহযোগিতা পেয়েছি, সেজন্য সবাইকে আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি বাংলাদেশের পক্ষ থেকে, বাংলাদেশের জনগণের পক্ষ থেকে, আমার পক্ষ থেকে, আমার পরিবারের পক্ষ থেকে সবাইকে অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ, শুভেচ্ছা।
Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, who, as you know, is on a 4-day trip, meeting, as you can see just a few minutes ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi with him right now on your screens. Also, issues related to trade, connectivity and defense are expected to dominate the agenda. India and Bangladesh are also expected to sign pacts on a few issues. Number one, water sharing on the Kishiara River, training and IT cooperation in railways, science, space, and media cooperation. These are the issues that are expected to be right on top of her agenda. Hasina was received at the airport by the Union Minister of State, Darshana Jardosh, and on Thursday, she is scheduled to travel to Ajmer to visit Moinuddin Chishti's Dargah. Hasina, who is accompanied by multiple senior ministers on this visit, will meet the President Draupadi Murmu and the Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar also during this visit. Right now, as you can see visuals on your screen of the two prime ministers from the two nations talking to neighboring nations with a very robust trade relationship and a robust cooperation on the security front in particular. 2 points to note because they've grown stronger since Sheikh Hasina has stepped into her position of power a few years ago. Now, within hours of arriving in New Delhi on Monday, the Prime Minister had already met the External Affairs Minister. They'd already begun their discussion of issues of bilateral interest and importance. So that had already started. As you just saw, the Prime Minister guiding the Prime Minister of Bangladesh to her car. These are all visuals we're bringing you as we speak from the Rashtrapati Bhavan. As we've just told you, this is a 4-day visit, so there are more days left on this entire plan. As we've already told you, issues related to trade, connectivity and defense are right on top of the agenda. Now, we'll continue to bring you updates from this visit. For now, we are heading into a short break. You can get a Money Control Pro subscription at net zero cost by claiming exciting offers worth 1,500 rupees from our partner brands. Grab these benefits now only on Money Control's app or website. We're heading into a short break. We'll see you on the other side.
Unstoppable 19-week sprint. India's indisputable number one. CNN News 18 on your side.
Private players under the now scrapped excise policy. Sisodia in turn alleged that a CBI officer who recently died by suicide was in fact pressurized to build a false case against him. A day after former Tata Sons chairman Cyrus Mistry was tragically killed in a road accident near Mumbai, CCTV footage now shows the Mercedes car he was travelling in moments before this unfortunate crash. The car was seen speeding towards a checkpoint. It would go on to hit a road divider, instantly killing Mistry, who was sitting in the back seat and not wearing a seatbelt. China denounced the United States for its $1 billion arms sale to Taiwan. Beijing has vowed to take firm countermeasures against the United States' latest arms sales to Taiwan. Last week, the Biden administration announced a $1 billion arms sale to Taiwan for Harpoon anti-ship missiles, Sidewinder air-to-air missiles and support for a surveillance radar system. It's the largest arms sale since Joe Biden took office. China is now breathing fire and threatening to take resolute and strong measures to firmly defend its sovereignty and security interests. The acrimony between the United States and China over Taiwan has increased ever since House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to the island. Taiwan is a self-ruled island, but China sees it as a breakaway province. China has accused the United States and Taiwan of creating instability by rejecting Beijing's claim to sovereignty over the island. China has made a record number of incursions into Taiwan's airspace last month. 446 PLA planes crossed into Taiwan's airspace. 1,098 incursions by PLA planes so far this year. Chinese ships cross the median line every day. This year's incursions far higher than 380 in 2020. In October 2021, there were 196 sorties done by the PLA. Liz Truss defeated rival Rishi Sunak to become the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. She will become the Conservative Party's fourth Prime Minister since elections in 2015. Liz Truss replaces Boris Johnson, who was, remember, forced to announce his resignation in July after months of scandal.
I will deliver a bold plan to cut taxes and grow our economy. I will deliver on the energy crisis, dealing with people's energy bills, but also dealing with the long-term issues we have on energy supply. And I will deliver on the National Health Service. We all will deliver for our country.
A horrific accident at a fair in Mohali was caught on camera.
At first, this high-rise swing packed with people was spinning and slowly ascending. The swing then stopped at a height and continued to spin. But instead of descending slowly, the swing went into a free fall. The swing came crashing down with such force that many people were flung out of their seats. More than 16 people, mostly children, were injured in the freak accident. To make matters worse, there was no ambulance stationed at the crowded fair for any accident, which means that medical care to the injured was delayed.
The centre has decided to rename Delhi's historic Rajpath and Central Vista lawns at Kartavya Path. The redeveloped stretch has red granite walkways spreading around 1.1 lakh square metre with greenery all around. This is the first project that has been completed under the Modi government's ambitious Central Vista redevelopment plan. A video of a doctor bringing a
Good morning. Welcome back. You're watching the morning news here on CNN News 18. We have some breaking news coming in from right here in the Delhi NCR. I believe that as we speak, searches are taking place across Delhi. This is in relation to the liquor excise policy. You'll remember the Delhi government had just a few weeks ago rescinded its alcohol excise policy. It had wanted to shift the liquor regime in the entire NCR region from a government-run one to a private one. They then rescinded that entire policy, leading to the BJP, which is the opposition in the Delhi NCR, saying that the excise policy was being used to get money from private individuals. Now we're learning, as you can see, of the ED conducting massive searches across the Delhi NCR. Let's go over to my colleague Ashish to understand more. Ashish, I believe it was the CBI earlier that had had visited Manish Sisodia's house and a number of other locations across the capital. Now I believe the ED is taking action. Could you bring us more details, please?
So as we speak, what we are being told, it's not only Delhi, it's almost all over India. We are hearing that searches are happening in Lucknow, searches are happening in Gurugram, searches are happening in South India as well. So, massive searches, more than 30 locations. That is what we are being told as of now by our sources, that more than 30 locations are being raided by the Enforcement Directorate. But interestingly, Manish Sisodia is not being covered. So the official residence of Manish Sisodia or his personal residence is not being raided as of now, but people related to the liquor policy who might have benefited out of the entire alleged scam, they are basically being raided. So the Enforcement Directorate is basically keeping the politics aside. They're basically looking at who actually are the beneficiaries of the proceeds of crime. So here obviously the Delhi government, especially Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, has said that CBI has given a clean chit. ED will also raid. dictate, whatever he would say. But as of now, what we speak, when we are speaking, one thing that we can confirm is that ED is conducting massive searches all over India, and this is basically related to the excise policy, the Delhi liquor excise policy. They're looking at the proceeds of crime. They're basically looking at who are the final beneficiaries of the alleged scam, and that is why these searches are being conducted.
Okay, Ashish, what details can you share about those who are being raided right now? Could you share with us more details about how the ED is, for example, deciding who it is that benefited and whose residences and offices to raid as we speak?
So it's very difficult to comment as of now, because we got a little idea about these searches right at around 7:15 in the morning, but nobody was ready to confirm in Enforcement Directorate what these searches are all about. We got to know that there was massive CRPF movement, paramilitary forces movement, and then we basically were trying to call various sources in the Enforcement Directorate, and everybody was absolutely tight-lipped until unless somebody, one of the sources finally decided that yes, we are, the searches are happening. The searches are being conducted by a very special division in the Enforcement Directorate. There's a division called Special Task Force, STF, which is headed, by a senior IPS officer, and this officer is basically assigned for special tasks to conduct special investigations. So here, what we are being told is that this STF is basically conducting searches. Huge team of ED is basically on the field as of now. Searches been started at around 7 in the morning. The companies that we are talking about, or the locations that we are talking about, looks to be too early to comment, but we can only anticipate. It seems to be that there are companies who have finally benefited out of the entire scam.
Ashish, just stay with us, please. I do want to come back to you in a second. My colleague Shankar Anand is actually with us on the ground from one of the raid locations as we speak. This is right here in the...
मेरे पे आओ। हाँ हाँ जल्दी। इस वक्त में केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी ईडी के द्वारा सर्च ऑपरेशन को अंजाम दिया जा रहा है। देखिए इस वक्त में ईडी के अधिकारी पहुंचे हैं 207 महेंद्रू। ये देखिए यहाँ पर ईडी के अधिकारी अंदर जाते हुए जिस तरह से सर्च ऑपरेशन को अंजाम देने की बात आ रही है, और अभी फिलहाल देखिए ईडी के अधिकारी अंदर जा रहे हैं और डॉक्यूमेंट्स कुछ लेकर जा रहे हैं, और अंदर जाने के बाद देखिए बेल बजाते हुए। और जिस तरह से अगर आबकारी नीति के बारे में अगर बात करें तो अगस्त महीने में 17 अगस्त को एफआईआर रजिस्टर्ड किया गया था सीबीआई के द्वारा, और उसके बाद सर्च ऑपरेशन को अंजाम दिया गया था सीबीआई के द्वारा। उसके बाद उसी मामले को आधार बनाते हुए अब केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी ईडी ने इस केस को रजिस्टर्ड किया है, और इस केस को टेक ओवर करने के बाद अब कई लोकेशन पर सर्च ऑपरेशन को अंजाम दिया जा रहा है। जहां तक हमारे सूत्र बताते हैं कि तकरीबन 30 से ज़्यादा लोकेशन पर सर्च ऑपरेशन को अंजाम दिया जा रहा है। और देखिए इस वक्त में सर्च ऑपरेशन को अंजाम देते हुए ये अगर देखा जाए तो ये समीर महेंद्रू का आवास है, समीर महेंद्रू का आवास, और यहाँ पर केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी ईडी की टीम पहुंची है, और इस वक्त में तकरीबन 9:20 हुए हैं, और इस वक्त में ईडी के अधिकारी यहाँ पे पहुंचे हैं। और कहा जाए जिस तरह से तमाम मामलों की अगर बात कहा जाए तो जिस तरह से आबकारी नीति और आबकारी नीति जो दिल्ली सरकार की आबकारी नीति है, इस मामले में जिस तरह से फर्जीवाड़े को अंजाम देने का मामला सामने आया था, और इस मामले पर केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी सीबीआई ने जिस तरह से एफआईआर रजिस्टर किया था, उसी एफआईआर को आधार बनाते हुए ईडी ने आज तकरीबन 30 से ज्यादा लोकेशन पर सर्च ऑपरेशन को अंजाम दी है। देखिए ये महेंद्रू, समीर महेंद्रू का आवास है, जोरबाग स्थित 207 नंबर। ईडी के अधिकारी पहुंचे हैं, और ईडी के अधिकारी और इसके साथ साथ अन्य अधिकारियों की अगर बात करें तो इस मामले में 16 से ज्यादा लोगों को आरोपी बनाया गया था, जिसमें कि आरोपी नंबर 1 थे मनीष सिसोदिया। हालांकि हमारे सूत्र आज बताते हैं कि आज मनीष सिसोदिया के आवास पर सर्च ऑपरेशन नहीं है, बल्कि आबकारी नीति को अंजाम देने में जो फर्जीवाड़े को जिसने अंजाम दिया था उससे जुड़े हुए कई आरोपियों के आवास पर इस वक्त में सर्च ऑपरेशन को अंजाम दिया जा रहा है। वीडियो जर्नलिस्ट
All right, Sameer Mahindru, as you can see his house on your screens right now being raided by the ED. But it's important to note that there was one point where Mahindru was actually one of the CBI's key witnesses in a case in 2013, where he was a key witness against two infrastructure and development officials convicted for graft all the way back in 2013. He's the managing director of Indo Spirit, and he is being probed by the CBI for alleged bribery to influence Delhi's excise policy. This was something that actually came forward all the way back in August earlier in the month. Let's go to my colleague Shankar Anand. He's with us, as you can see right now, live from the ground right now. We'll go to him to get more details. Shankar जी, हमारे साथ जुड़े रहने के लिए धन्यवाद. Shankar जी, आप हमारे दर्शक को समझा सकते हैं, ये जो समीर महिंद्रू हैं, जिनके घर में अभी ये ईडी की जांच